Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So today we're here with Chance and we're using the bitless bridle because he has dental disease and he's been leaning on this a fair amount. So today I tried to lighten him up. I've gone forward and stopped and backed up a fair amount, got him to give to pressure from the noseband, and so I'll show you what I got. He still doesn't like this. He's very itchy, so we might have to change to something else, and that's the hard part, is trying to figure out what is gives you control but also is comfortable for the horse. But he's very itchy because he has something else going on as well. So he's very big. Hard for me to get on. Okay, so I taught him, he knew lateral flexion from the bit, and then I just taught him when I put pressure on both these reins to give. But see how he's striking out? He's not striking out because he's upset or anything. He wants to itch his nose, so that's the hard part. Also a little bit too heavy on his front end. Going downhill, so I'm doing a lot of walking, stopping, and backing up. That'll make his stifle stronger. And he doesn't like it, but as he's going downhill, he's kind of just lumbering along, and that's a good way to have a horse trip and then they fall down because all their weight's on the front end. So going downhill, I'm walking and stopping a lot or doing something. And I don't give with my hands until he puts his head down. That's the hard part. You got to block with your legs on either side. If you don't do it well, then they'll kind of escape with their body and won't put their head down. So I always sit back, breathe, say whoa. And see, if they don't stop, he's getting better, but he kind of lost his whoa, even though he had a good whoa when he left training last time. And that can happen to you too, because you have different people riding your horse, or you're not saying, you're not sitting back, breathing, saying whoa, and then pulling. And then they lose it, Put training on, take training off. That's what happens. So you gotta keep it up. And even though you might have other people riding your horse, somebody has to school it once a week. Otherwise, you have to redo a whole bunch, when those people stop riding it, because then your horse is messed up. Oh, good boy. So there he did it pretty well, but I'm still going to back him up just because he's heavy in the bridle. So you're trying to be a perfectionist and really stay on their case about this stuff. I'm going to try it again and go a little bit faster, and we'll see if he can hold his gait and how he does. He can step, pace, and rack, and it's actually very smooth, but I'm trying to keep his legs separated a little bit more. And you can only do so much in one day. I want to work on his canter, but not today because I just got his head pretty good today. Good boy. So As a reward, we're going to loosen up this nose band. And if he wants to itch on it, he can. It's hard. We're trying to, you know, find something else to work with him with that gives us control. He's a big, strong horse, but also that doesn't annoy him too much. So we'll see if this gets any better. If not, we'll switch it. He's getting better working off of nose pressure. But again, when you have different people, yes, I know, different people riding you, it gets confusing. Kind of think of it like, okay, that's it, so we got to talk. When you have a teacher, if you have multiple teachers, most people don't do well unless they study on their own. The horses aren't going to study on their own. So because everybody teaches a little bit different, so everybody rides a little different, everybody's a little bit different on how stern they are, how exactly they want that horse to do that. And so it gets very confusing for them. So that's why a lot of horses can't be lesson horses, because they can't tolerate it. So lesson horses that can tolerate a lot of different riders are awesome and worth $1 million because they're safe for everyone, right? But you gotta realize that horses get confused. They get confused with different riders. They get confused if they don't do their jobs often. And so you can't expect them to be great unless they practice it and somebody shows them how to do it correctly. You know, people try to get horses and then they put 3 months training on it and then they think that's it. And I'm not talking about this horse, I'm just talking about in general. They put 3 months on it and they think that horse is trained for his life. But the difficult part is that, you know, when we go to school, we start with preschool, kindergarten, and then 1 through 8. And then what do we get after that? We get high school. And then that's 4 more years. And then you get to decide if you want to go to college. So you still have a fair amount of education. These guys, people buy them, put like 3 months on them, that's it. That's it for the rest of their life. And then they expect them to do this job and figure out what we want to do, but they can't. They've only had 3 months of training. And so it's not fair to them. And so a lot of problems when people call me up about it and they get an older horse and it does all these bad things, it's because a lot of people did the wrong things with it, so it's learned bad habits, and nobody showed it how to do it the right way. So you can still retrain them, it's work. But you can fix horses. You just got to get the right teachers or the right trainers for them and the right owners, and then try to help them out. And then when they're good, try and do nice things for them. Like, he's itchy, that's okay, we can itch him. But if he just started rubbing on me, I'm not going to start itching him, because then that teaches, you know, him to rub on me, and then I'll itch you, and then we're like, no, because you might get somebody's jacket stuck in your bridle. So we never want him to actually start shoving at us, but we can itch him if he just stays still. Okay.